In this video, we'll talk about the new breakthrough by scientists in the medical field. Now, there's been a lot of talk surrounding recent discoveries in the medical field, such as the successful drug trials for patients with rectal cancer, where the cancer vanished for every patient involved. However, we're going to talk about something a little different today. Here's a hint. It involves artificial intelligence and zebrafish. First up, let's make it make sense. Alright, maybe that hint was a bit unhelpful, but honestly, it was pretty close to what we're actually talking about. Z-Clinics has found a way to combine artificial intelligence and zebrafish in order to accelerate drug discovery. This is where potential new medicines are identified by discovering chemical entities that have the potential to develop as therapeutic agents. Next, we'll tell you a bit about the man in charge, Dr. Javier Terriente, who has been leading the scientific side of Z-Clinics and is currently the chief of drug development, has a PhD in molecular biology, and spent 15 years in academia before founding Z-Clinics in 2013. His role within the company is essentially to lead the internal drug development programs and help with the implementation process of new technologies, such as artificial intelligence, amongst other things. He would prefer to say that he's actually the chief innovation officer in the company, and we'd like to agree. His innovations are quite impressive after all. So let's get an inside view of Z-Clinics. Z-Clinics is a contract research organization, or CRO, which specializes in research regarding zebrafish. Dr. Javier Terriente had plenty of experience and has focused on basic research problems. However, he understood from early on that zebrafish would have a big role in the future, including many biological and experimental discoveries that could be useful for drug discovery, target discovery, and also understanding the safety level of new compounds. The initiative behind starting this company was to bring more expertise to this industry. Their main mission as Z-Clinics is to provide excellence and good quality work. They hope to always provide the best scientific output with the best quality in all aspects. They always hope to accelerate research and overall provide drugs to patients earlier and at the lowest cost possible. Now that's what we need in these rough times. Okay, but why zebrafish? The primary thing the Z-Clinics wants you to know about zebrafish is that they typically work with larvae, which are not really considered as animals until they reach the 5th day mark. The team operates with an in vitro system that contains all the biological features of an animal, and therefore they gain all the advantages of working with an animal or its equivalent. 80% of the genes in zebrafish are echoed in humans, and so researchers can understand and model the disease, as well as understand the role of genes in that context, and therefore look for drugs that are modulating these targets. Since the zebrafish is an in vitro model, the team used multi-well plates to test hundreds of drugs each week. An in vitro system facilitates the obtaining of large amounts of data and high biological translatability. All in all, it's an excellent model to speed up discoveries. Who knew zebrafish were so cool? But why shouldn't we use real animals? Well, this is where ethics comes in. The general aim for everyone involved in research is to not violate any ethical guidelines, since this lowers the reputability of the research. They must either not use animals at all, or minimize the use and harm of animals in the research as far as possible. This is why the team at Z-Clinics uses zebrafish embryos that are 5 days post-fertilization, which are not technically animals as it is considered by regulatory bodies. This provides them with all the advantages of working with animals without actually using them in their research. This approach also allows the researcher to find the best drugs possible in terms of safety, so that if using animals ever becomes necessary, the researchers can be prepared and promise that no harm will come to the animal, since it has been tested already. Overall, this method saves time, money, and the use of animals. Plus, we don't have to worry about any animal cruelty, and it increases the safety levels of any drug being tested. Why not make use of that? Now let's talk about their service platforms. The 3 main platforms they offer are Z-Tox, Z-Genesis, and Z-Efficacy. Within Z-Tox, they have a portfolio to analyze the toxicity of drugs from a general perspective, but also to understand cardiotoxicity and other types of organ toxicities. Z-Genesis, however, is basically the creation of new genetic models. Within Z-Efficacy, there are multiple disease models that they offer their clients, and custom phenotypic screenings, including a complex behavioral analysis. In addition to these 3 platforms, they also develop their own drugs, so they have a form of dual business model. Now that's pretty cool. Next, we have some intel on the Z-Byte platform, which is currently in development. So Z-Byte is actually not going to be a separate platform. It is essentially a holistic platform, which allows them to undertake all the work that is currently taking place at the company. Dr. Javier Terriente says that it is more than a platform. it is an initiative. They are implementing deep learning algorithms for extracting data from images and videos that are obtained from experimental samples. They then use machine learning and deep learning to analyze the related data that they generate to understand and find casualties between the data. It is a holistic way of transforming from only a wet lab to a digital combination of wet lab and dry lab. A positive aspect of this platform is that they can generate biological data from disease models. Then they can treat this data through artificial intelligence to generate new hypotheses, before finally proving those hypotheses through experiments. We can't wait to see how the ZBite platform turns out. Now let's look into the importance of artificial intelligence, or AI, in life sciences research. Dr. Javier Terriente actually considers the adaptation of artificial intelligence in research as essential. He claims that no company will survive another 10 years without using AI. Artificial intelligence is simply a better way to extract important information from data, and is a way to accelerate and accommodate your research. By analyzing data with artificial intelligence, it's possible to find genes connected with diseases that had previously been uncovered. Z-Clinics hopes to create new biological hypotheses which will be good for research and eventually become great for patients. Well, we all know that artificial intelligence was going to take over the world someday, but that day seems closer than we expected. So what does the future look like for ZBite? It's true that artificial intelligence has proven to be a game changer so far in speeding up research and managing to uncover things that were previously hidden. Dr. Javier Terriente predicts that in the world of human health and medicine, if AI technology is adopted by majorities, companies can work together to find targets and eventually cure diseases that have no treatment so far. He says it could cause a paradigm change. Let's hope that the future fulfills this promise. Next, let's look at the importance of collaboration in science. Z-Clinics admits that it's quite difficult for a small company to do everything correctly by themselves. They emphasize on the importance of focusing on what you do best and trying to find a competent partner to make up for the parts that you lack. This lets your organization be the best in all aspects with limited shortcomings. This is their prediction for both small companies and larger pharmaceutical companies alike. Collaboration benefits the partners, the sector as a whole, and most importantly, the patients. So what's next for Z-Clinics? Dr. Javier Terriente explained that the most exciting project for Z-Clinics currently is the full implementation of ZBite. They also have multiple drug discovery programs that they are hoping to release next year into new companies, just as they did with the cardio programs they began in 2019 with Z Cardio Therapeutics. On the other hand, from a more service-centered point of view, they are offering more and more services within the metabolic area and also in the neurodegeneration area. They hope to cover more areas for their clients and be even more innovative in the future. And last but not least, what did Dr. Javier Terriente admire at SLAS 2022? Dr. Javier Terriente talked about how he's seen lots of interesting technological innovations and the rise of organoids and organ chips at SLAS 2022, which could be excellent models to complement their aims. He also emphasized on the new involvement of automation and says that the sector overall is practically thriving. They see people from all different sectors at SLAS, including mathematicians, big pharmaceutical companies, and small biotech scientists and engineers, so he deems the place as a good area to merge different sensitivities. The conference also provided a focus on diversity and inclusivity, which he praised greatly. He claimed it was still important for day-to-day work and was another key takeaway from the conference, and we have to say, we completely agree. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of this medical breakthrough? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.